Hi there. I'm Mike Ryder, and I'm a solutions architect here at N2WS. And today I'm going to show you how to utilize our S3 bucket sync feature. So what this feature does is takes the content of a source bucket. It could be a production bucket, maybe for a website that holds a bunch of objects, whatever the case may be, and then sync those objects into an entirely separate S3 bucket. And it could be on a, separate region or an entirely separate account, you know, just for redundancy. And just, you have it in multiple places instead of just relying on maybe, versioning for backups. So first thing we do is we're going to create a policy. So we'll come and create a new AWS policy, and we'll just name this S3 sync. And you can place this on a schedule. So maybe I want to sync this, maybe once a week. I want to sync these buckets, or it could be, could be once a day, whatever, schedule you prefer. And then you're going to select your backup targets. So if we drop this down, you're going to go all the way to the bottom. You'll see S3 bucket sync under FSX. So we're going to click this. And we're going to select our source bucket. So my source bucket I'm going to use is this demo S3. So we'll add this to the policy, and then we'll select this, and then we're going to configure this. So we have the bucket all ready to go, and then the source prefix. So perhaps you don't want to sync the entire content of the entire bucket. You can actually specify a specific path. So and any objects that reside in that specific path, and then even keep that source prefix. So the same exact prefix gets synced to that destination bucket. And then down here is the destination. So where I'm going to sync this to. So it could be your primary account. It could be a DR account. And then you're going to select which bucket I want to use for my destination. Just so happens I have one already set up for my destination. So that's what I want to select. And then same thing down here. If I want to maybe sync these objects to a specific path, I can do that. And then storage class, we support all three. So it could be standard, reduced redundancy, or the standard IA and frequent access. And then down here, this delete extra option. So this is an interesting option. So without this being checked as is, if I leave it as is, and if an object or two gets deleted or moved, whatever the case is, and in the source bucket, but production bucket, once the S3 sync runs, the policy runs, it's going to do another sync. What this is going to do, if I keep this unchecked, is it's going to make sure that those old files still remain in the destination bucket. They may not be in the source bucket, but they'll still be in the destination bucket. If I were to check this, it's going to do an exact sync. So if an object gets deleted in the source bucket and it runs an S3 sync, then it's also going to delete that object in the destination bucket. So usually keep this off by default. Typically that's what people like to use. And so that might be something that's of interest to you. And then you just click apply. And then we save this policy. And it's as simple as that. So every once a week, my S3 sync is going to run, and my objects will be synced. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for using N2WS.